What were the big takeaways then, Matt, from this survey?
Yeah, hi Tom. Yeah, as you said, this is a major study, over 600 C-suite executives involved, spanning over 9 industries, a global reach, and kind of talking to that kind of those previous comments. To some degree, this has been driven by fear. 68% of respondents kind of gauged the threat of disruption from AI to their company as either high or very high. And I guess linked to that, as you mentioned, 36% of the C-suite saying that AI is their top strategic priority, another 47% saying it's in the top 3. So this really is kind of garnering the full attention of the C-suite across every industry. I think what's interesting is that when you ask people about the objectives they've got for AI, what tops the poll is operational efficiency. 47% of respondents saying that was the most important strategic priority out of AI. Second most important was boosting revenue, which might be a little bit surprising, which took about 21%, said that was their top strategic priority. And when you kind of connect that back to kind of what this means to kind of financial outlook, some cautious optimism there amongst the C-suite, anticipating on a 3-year view about a 7% revenue gain specifically linked to AI and a similar 7% profit gain linked specifically to AI. So they see this as an important driver of future financial growth.
Okay, really interesting stats in terms of the disruption risks that they see, in terms of efficiencies and in terms of potential revenue growth as a result of integrating AI. Was there anything surprising that came out of this survey?
I think that the big surprise is the messaging on jobs, and that kind of links to, again, what we heard in that earlier piece. So whilst a lot of people are making short-term tactical cuts to headcount, about 66% said they're making those changes. Actually, when you look at the strategic priorities, headcount reductions explicitly was one of the lowest in terms of importance. 38% put it as their lowest strategic importance. And when you look at the midterm, over 60% of respondents are saying they plan to actually increase headcount as a result of AI, on average by around 4%. So I think that's kind of interesting. You hear lots of kind of scare stories about the jobs threat from AI, but right now it's more about productivity gains, and if companies need to invest more, including in human capital, to kind of unlock those gains, they're prepared to do it.
Okay, maybe we can all take some measure of comfort from that statistic then. What do these findings contribute? I mean, there's still raging kind of debate about the AI bubble, and maybe that really comes to the fore again in 2026. What are the survey findings kind of tie into that debate?
So one of the questions we asked is about what C-suite sees as the biggest roadblocks to AI implementation, and amongst the top roadblocks was concerns about the availability of AI infrastructure, and that fits into what we've heard from the likes of Microsoft about investing to get enough supply to meet the demand. But I think there's still a kind of big question mark, because amongst the roadblocks that we saw, one of the top scoring was the uncertainty around the high costs of AI implementation and the doubts about return on investment. So I think the C-suite is still unsure of the full benefits that AI can bring to their companies. I think that's going to be a big story for 2026, is companies are going to get clearer about where AI is benefiting their companies and where it isn't. And I think as we go out of 26 into 27, we'll have a much clearer idea of the weight and magnitude of scaled investments from corporates, and that's critical for the midterm outlook for the likes of OpenAI in particular, given the hundreds of billions of dollars they're putting into midterm capacity.